hebben we een stukje Arctic gevonden waar het zeeijs nog bevroren is. Waarschijnlijk, hopelijk. Uummannaq is a small island in the North West of Greenland. It's located in a very remote area in a fjord. I traveled a lot through the Arctic regions, and you see that the authentic culture is a bit of maintained in this area. In Uummannaq there is a real dog sled culture. It's one of the few places in the world where people go for hunt and traveling over the ice by dog sled. Normally, a dog sled rider is in charge, where the trip leads to, when it begins or where it ends. We place dog sled riders, made out of metal, frozen, on a moving iceberg. And now is nature in charge.
Well, for 9 months they haven't been out on the sea ice because it's not thick enough. It's only about this thick. Typically it's a meter thick. So they go out and exercise every day. So now they're fat and lazy.
If the dog dies away, then the man is also vanished. Because the animals are there first, always. The man will come after. So as long as there is animals, there will be a man. But if the animals has gone, there will be no man.
People forget is, next to climate change, you also see a cultural change. When you look to the number of dogs, it's decreasing enormous. It's a disaster. People can't trust sea ice anymore.
Wat gaan we vandaag doen?
Ja.
IceBerg zoeken.
What's that?
We are planning to go by 2 boats.
On Sunday, huh?
Saturday.
Tomorrow?
I hope for tomorrow.
Why?
Now we have to find a spot where the ice is thick enough to work.
But that you need to go into Ap Verheggen
Yeah.
to do
Yes,
that.
therefore.
Yeah, I request to do it on Sunday.
That's okay. Sunday, not tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
8 to 10 hours for them
Yes,
back.
but you cannot do that tomorrow.
Okay. So I was too fast.
Maybe Sunday. In tomorrow you can go sailing.
What's the problem
tomorrow,
tomorrow? So I
But
understand.
this is a big problem to take all the dogs to go out there. You have to say, it can take 5-6 hours just to come up with the dog and come back.
Ê, alo ngủ cút đã chuối coi Đấy vậy.
If you could stay there with the team for a couple of days, if the ice is alright between the two islands, that would be the most perfect, beautiful spot.
Yeah.
And we could walk all the distances.
Ja, maar dan hadden we op de wand. It's again, it's a blood dog. But it's too far, blood dog anyway, so you had to do it out because it's too far for you to operate all the way out there.
Yeah.
It is too far. Wow.
Frank, we moeten nu die beslissing nemen. We need one day in Uummannaq to prepare all stuff. We need the balance. We need the crates. Crates we can put on the contrabalance for the sculptors.
They don't know who is up, who is over, who is underdog. So there will be, it will be a big mess when we will start dog sledding.
The culture is changing. Normally in Uummannaq, people go for dog sledding on the ice, but as you can see, it's empty. It's not possible because there are too many open spots. It never occurred before that in this time of the year there was so many open spaces on the water.
We have to adjust to the nature, not that the nature has to be adjusted to us. But I know that there have been civilizations before. And where did they go? Well, the civilizations go after they have been living like this, exploring the nature and exploiting it instead of being the part of the nature. The old man told me, you don't have to fight alone just to confirm yourself that you are a good man or you are a great man, whatever. Then you fight alone. But if you are part of the whole universe, part of the whole nature, then you make yourself the part of the nature. Just like the snow is falling. It is individual, but never parted from others, but it's part of the everything. When it falls down, it becomes snow on the ground, but not one snow, but the whole snow as the nature. That's what we are too, but we are separating from the nature, and that's why we got weak and damaging ourselves and damaging our people, the animals, and the nature at the end.
We came here to look for icebergs which are frozen into the sea ice, and therefore they are stable and we can work on it. When we arrived, we found very thin ice in the bay here. It's very dangerous to go on it with dog sleds, as we were thinking of before. So we had to use a boat and put the dogs and the sleds in the boat to go further out to find icebergs.
Icebergs. I cannot be 100% sure, but there used to be icebergs.
But is that not what you're going to sort out by staying here and having a look?
There are icebergs. Of course, you cannot see. You cannot see them from here.
So these guys have to look.
Yeah, but it's further in. We cannot do it now. I mean, it's too late. It's too late. But I can run. I don't know who can run otherwise. Else, I mean,
Run!
yeah, I kind of run and have a look to the top here. It takes 20 minutes altogether.
This man needs to go.
Yeah.
We're not going to run, right?
Not running, but go fast.
Yes,
go
come
fast. Oh yeah, it's true. There are not many here, so it needs to be further in. But
Further in or the right side?
No, it's this side. There are some few ones there.
Yeah, there are a few, but
Small one.
the best thing we can have is a flat top.
Yeah.
The ones we see out here are not suitable.
No,
So
they are small ones. These are not
No, they're
suitable
like
at all.
crumbs,
And
right?
even
So
this
the
one.
better is to go there
Yeah.
with dogs and go
And
to
you
the right.
can you give me your binoculars? Try to have a look at these ones over there. You can see some over there.
You have two options. We go to the right,
Yes.
or we go there to the
No,
left.
there are nothing there.
There's nothing.
No, this is glacier.
This is the
There's
glacier.
no glacier this way.
It's very good. Als ik bevries,
Ja.
dan ben jij met Jan zijn de schulden.
Waarom? God heeft het dan gedaan.
Jullie zeiden net gewoon ja.
Nee, ik heb nooit ja gezegd.
Ja.
Nee, hij heeft ja
Hij
gezegd.
zei ja. Hé jongens, maar ik zal een mooi kampje maken voor alles en iedereen. It's really a good candidate. Another day at the office.
Rummer der er 6 leder? 600 leder? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, 6 sledges. There are 6 sledges.
7, they also bring tomorrow's sled.
Okay. Well, then there's 7 plus a ski scooter.
But can we ask him if it's possible that we sleep with the whole group in deep in the fjord?
Ja. Er det muligt, at alle, som er med, kan sove derinde i fjorden? Ja? Det er muligt? Ja, okay.
Today we're gonna look for the perfect iceberg to place the sculptures on.
The dog is free. So, but the dog is also a hunter by itself. But you are lucky to have it to guide you to the animals. So you are partners. So you are partners to do the things. So they are not going to be afraid of you. And you are not going to be afraid of it. Our belief is that the animals are our ancestors. Every animal, it could be a fly, it could be a mosquito, could be a polar bear, it could be a seal, could be whatever you find in the whole world. It could be a stone too. As everything is life. Life is everything.
If anything cracks there, it just cracks like a paper all the way out there, you know?
So we better can stop.
Yes, we can go back.
Now we go to the left.
Go there, have a look there, and then you can think about it.
When the climate change, the way of living changed because they cannot go hunting and fishing in the usual way, the traditional way. They have to get bigger boats, and sometimes it's not even possible with big boats to go hunting and fishing because there's some ice, but it's too much for the boats to break through. But it's not good enough for dog sledging. So I was in a settlement for 2 months. where the only income is hunting and fishing. And for 2 months we couldn't get fresh fish and fresh seal or anything. The hunters started shooting the dogs, and they did that because there were no more dog food. They couldn't go hunting and fishing for the dogs, so they started shooting the dogs.
This is it.
I think this is it.
Yeah,
this is perfect.
Oh, yeah? That's very good.
Easy accessible. We can walk.
That's the first. That's the preliminary. You can say criteria. Easily accessible.
Even without hooks.
Getting the gear up. Secondly, you can stand here. There's loads of space. You've got different angles you can choose.
Okay, that was also an option. But no. But we found one in the most beautiful spot on Earth. We found one iceberg that is empty. Yeah, no, it starts. Again.
Yeah. Put the glove around, so keeps it hot there.
We moeten het heel kort houden, want de batterij die gaat steeds leeg. Dus. Maar wij komen dus nu terug naar Uummannaq, of niet? I think they are afraid coming over to here.
Og Ap meget inclineret til at bruge det isfjeld. It was also my impression that one of the reasons was that they found it important that the iceberg drifted by Uummannaq, so the inhabitants in Uummannaq could have an impression, a vision of it passing by. Once that's done, you could place the other one here, but it was my understanding that he would proceed with first. They would want to proceed by putting the first sculpture on the iceberg, which is drifting in the fjord.
Okay.
And then, secondly, come back here and place this one on this iceberg.
That's a good idea, maybe.
Could be, yes.
Why didn't you tell me this earlier? Can you ask him how long was right till here?
Ja, hvor lang tid? Hvor mange minutter? Du ved ikke? 1 time, 90 minutter? 90 minutter?
Måske 1 time eller måske.
Måske lidt mere end 1 time. Maybe a bit more than an hour. It wasn't that long, huh?
No, it's...
I'd say an hour and a half if that would be my gut feeling.
My big friend. Don't destroy my iceberg. No.
This song is the universe. We got it from our ancestors because they hear the universe, how it is sounding. Then we are sounding just like the universe are telling us to do. And it's coming up and coming down, it's coming up and coming down, sometimes very low. When it goes so low, it's underworld. And when it is coming up, it's above world. And this is the song. Never change. It's always there. But the drum is the heart beating. And when it is beating just like the heart. But when you are in danger, then your heart is beating harder. Or when you are in love. You see that? When you feel danger or when you are angry, the heart beats the same way. And when you are happy, the drum is beating the heart the same way. So we have to understand when we hate, why the heart is beating at the same way as when we are in love. Because the hate and love is always being together. Just like the day cannot exist without the night. They are hand in hand. Everything is like this.
Jürgen mentioned that they have considered the fact that it is not certain that the iceberg will leave the bay, that it will survive getting out of the bay.
Maybe today, ice will open.
Ice will open today.
Maybe.
The hunters were right. The sea ice broke and ruined completely our plans to build the sculptures on the iceberg. Our plan was initially to move all material by dog sledges to the iceberg, and there is a still chance that the sea ice could freeze overnight. It would be too dangerous to move all the equipment by boats. It's a transport nightmare. When we saw that the Inuit by themselves transported the dogs by helicopter, we had to consider that a plan B, and that was the only option that was left, and it was to airlift the sculptures on the iceberg.
Before we were Christian, we believe in respecting the nature. We respect the snow, we respect the water, we respect the icebergs, we respect the mountains. You don't have to be a scientist to understand the climate change. It went already in the end of the 1970s, and we saw it.
Some of the houses here in Uummannaq are built on soil, and they have started to have problems with their foundation because permafrost is melting.
As the permafrost melts after so many years, since it's frozen since the last ice age, you get many problems. The bacteria, they come alive.
The bacteria is called tetanus bacteria that transmit this tetanus disease to people, and in most parts of the world we are all vaccinated against it, but here in Greenland no one is. So it's to be expected that in a couple of years the tetanus will become a health issue up here. It's very difficult to get a thorough vaccination done in all these areas. So that might be an ancient disease that will flame up again in these areas.
people can't trust nature anymore. I see it as an artist, as a sort of a mission to make people aware what's happening over here. We made the sculptures out of iron, pure iron, because if the sculptures would sink to the bottom, then they started to rust, and the rust is food for phytoplankton, so it's a gift for nature.
It's kind of a bit worrying for me personally with these clouds up there hanging. Normally they used to be a sign of that there will be strong, a kind of warm wind coming from the ice cap. So I'm a bit worried, but for sure excited if in 2 days or 3 days there will be a strong wind, exactly when we will put up the sculptures.
We now find the shop right by the church, right in front of the doctor's house. It doesn't have a sign outside, and I suggested at the last that, you know, they could probably double their sales if they put a name on, but that was wrong thinking. Everybody knew. We bought the rope that we needed, and we bought, well, you know, a number of gadgets that we need to turn this design into an airliftable design, because the design is, yeah, meets a certain purpose. And the purpose was to stick build it on an iceberg. And now we got airlift. It's not designed for airlift, and that's why we change it.
We are not sure if we can do that in a very short term. To plan the building of the sculptures, to put them down with a helicopter, 2 sculptures with 1 helicopter. It will need 2 days of building it up. But first we need the permission of the helicopter pilot to lift it on the iceberg.
The thing has been designed to stand on these legs. So if I pick it up at the legs, I do exactly the same as the thing has been designed. I'm not sure if I pull that pointer, if it's going to break enough. So your hook will have to be higher than that point.
Yeah, it will come high.
It will come.
But if you tie it up here and here and here somewhere.
Yeah. And then we're standing here and
yeah, and have them all 3 here.
Yes.
And just connect it to my wire, and I will pull it up and we will see what will happen.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good.
I can lift it. We will see what's happening, and then we can adjust it after that, if it's
and necessary. Then you bring it down again.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this the angle you're looking for? The pitch?
Even more, maybe.
You want it steeper?
Depends on if you want to put the sandbags on before or after.
I would prefer before, of course. Less work out there.
Then it has to be much more lower in the front.
WWF is very concerned about the changes in the Arctic we see. For instance, the amount of sea ice is diminishing very fast. We are very worried about that because a lot of ecosystems and a lot of animals depend on the sea ice for their survival. Also, people who live in the Arctic depend on the sea ice to move from one place to the other place. All these changes are related to the changing climate, and the climate changes in the Arctic are twice as fast and twice as deep as in the rest of the world.
coach.
Tässä on näisi una uopenia tuon tällä. Mä duisi mä oppu. Puisi mokko viannus sui saat mamma tuntaa sapu.
Since a few years, the seal that are around here now, even in that late in the autumn, are that they hunt. They are like not so fat, and the skin is mamatok. We call it. The hair are falling off.
Oh, so I saw you. Just again, so some asak bisa sampo bisa ruun tunisung inopen. Bisa ko ikan no ko.
There's no hell. No hell, as the Christian says. There's a hell after life. No way. There's no hell. The only hell is then the life you make on earth. When you are walking on earth, and you are making the hell for other people. That's only the hell you experience in your life. They told us that the songs will disappear, that our culture will disappear, but the mountains are still existing. We go to these mountains to find the songs again from our ancestors.
We had the orphanage here, and this is the kids' home, where they live, and they should have a home as other kids. There's a lot of kids who are living here, and they have parents, but they just have some difficulties to stay with their parents. So they come here for training to cope with their problems. And that's the way we are using the nature, to use the nature to come out and to make some nice story for the kids. I think a lot of the kids sometimes who come with social problems, they're not that used to nature. It's the same way as the kids, they come from good homes. Because you have to be aware about the nature if you're going to use it. It's not only coming to you, you have to come to the nature too.
A lot of the kids we have never been good at anything. They have been told the whole life, or they have felt the whole life that they weren't good at anything. The parents has failed them, and at school they have often been told that they were not behaving well, and they were not good at reading, writing, and math and stuff like that. So what we do is try to give these kids another impression of themselves, so that they feel that they are something, that they can do something for themselves and for other people too. And by teaching them music, by learning them how to dog sledge, by taking them on a long hike in the mountains, they can feel and they can see for themselves that they actually did something, and something that they also can be proud about.
Right. Oh my.
There she goes, almost down. This is it.
When Inuit go for hunting in unknown territories, they always go by two. One is following the other. These sculptures are going to an unknown territory, so I had to use two and to place them in such a way as the Inuit would go over the ice.
The GPS is already working. Everything is switched on, and we will be able to follow them through Google Earth. And we will have a position update every 3 hours from both of them. So we have a redundant system right now. And it will last for, we think, probably 4 to 6 years. So if the iceberg will continue for that long, we also will know its position.
Take a glass of my own iceberg.
From cheers. Ancient water. The lecture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. We asked some prognosis of how long an iceberg with this size can drift. And the most pessimistic times are 2 years, maybe 3 years. So I hope it will float through the whole Arctic, and even people in Canada can see my iceberg drifting along the shore.